Hello and welcome to this tutorial where I will guide you through how to set up your system to be able to share your cockpit in the MSFS Bushpilot shared cockpit events. So the first thing you're going to need is your control, which is the name of the add-on for sharing your cockpit in Microsoft Flight Sim. You find it here, and I have the link in the description below. You scroll down. This is a GitHub page, and often people get confused and they go here and click download the zip from the code. That is wrong. You scroll down, and then you find this point here which says downloading the installer. You do that. After you installed the add-on, it's very simple. Uh, you often will have a problem like, okay, where did it go? Because unfortunately, it doesn't populate the recently added programs in your start menu. So you have to find it, and you find that by going to your C drive, users, your username, and then let's see, up data, and then roaming, and then you have it under your controls. And then it is the your controls exe. In the installer, you get the option of install and then make it's another exe file that makes I think a shortcut or something. It is the installer you're going to run, and then it's going to install into this directory. If you're not able to see this file, like when you go to users and your username and then app data is not visible, you need to go to your Windows Explorer, this program here, go to view, and then options, view again, and then under hidden files and folder, you want to select show hidden files and folders. So that's okay, and then you will be able to see this. How to actually run the application is very easy. I have it pinned to my start menu by right-clicking in the exe file in the install folder. I will have it pinned here. I run it. And then one person in your shared cockpit will have to act as a host. He will start the server. So after he selects his aircraft, he can click Start Server. Well, I'm not connected to the flight sim at the moment, so I get an error message, but if you are, it will be working, and then you will get a 5 or 6 letter code that you will show up here. You copy it and paste it into the chat or Discord chat of your co-pilot, and then he will copy and paste it into this window. He will click the cloud server and then connect after he also selects his aircraft and username. When he does that, when you're the host, you will see him come in here, and then he will have a clickable button next to his name where it says observer. You click that to make him able to actually interact with your cockpit. And that should be it. If you have disconnection issues, like that constant disconnect, you will have to use a direct direct communication method here, or a direct protocol, but unfortunately that is not a part of this tutorial. So with that out of the way, the next thing I want to talk about is what version of the Airbus you're going to use. You're going to use the fly-by-wire, and you go to this page. The link is also in the description below. Again, don't use the code button with download here. You scroll down and then go to the installer and select download here. That is also very easy to do. I'm not going to showcase it here. You select the stable version. Right now, as of February 2021, you're able to select between the stable, the development, and the experimental. And to have good success with the shared cockpit, you want to use the stable version for all pilots in the cockpit sharing. Next thing I want to talk about is our Discord, and this is MSFS Discord server. It's quite popular. We have a lot of people coming in for the different events we're holding. We have the Spain tour, which is quite popular, and the South America bush trip, and also Gun Pilots challenging flights is quite popular. Tonight, as you can see, we're hosting an event for Spain, and it has quite a lot of people. We also have now recently added the shared cockpit channels, and here you will find quite a lot of information that is nice to have. You will find the Your Controls link. We also have a TeamSpeak. I'm going to come back to TeamSpeak and tell you about that. We have Airbus A380 checklist. That is one version of it. I'm also working right now on a different one that also includes flows between the pilot flying and the pilot monitoring. So you will be able to tell which of you are doing what, which is nice for people not very experienced in shared cockpit. And here we also write down information about the coming events and stuff. Yeah. One thing to yeah, I can show you this now. This is the document I'm working on. It has a checklist that is a summary of all the checklists in this document. It has a little information about how you set up for a good success with shared cockpit, like what you should do and what you shouldn't do. And then it has these flow charts. So you have what the pilot monitoring should do during the cockpit preparation phase, what the pilot flying should do. You have what the briefing should contain. So also with a little bit of what can happen with shared cockpit, like you could disconnect during the takeoff. What should you do? And then you have the checklist after the flow. And then this is how it goes. So before start flows, before start checklist, before taxi flows, before taxi checklist, etc., etc., etc. So this is quite handy and is available on the MSFS Bushpilot Discord server. Link in the description below. So, with that said, I'm going to talk a little bit more about how things work. Like in the Spain event here now, all people are lumped together in one big channel. This is now how it works when you do shared cockpit and events for that. Then you need the team that does one cockpit will go in one team. The team that shares the cockpit of another plane will go into this one, etc., etc. But that means that you won't be able to have a Unicom channel. Like you need to be able to communicate across all the teams. And unfortunately, you can't do that solely with Discord. You need another means of communication. So we use TeamSpeak 3 for that. So you simply you just Google TeamSpeak 3 downloads, or you can use the link in the description below, and you download the relevant file for you. Normally for Windows 10 operating systems, it will be 64 bits. You download that. And as you do it, when you start, you start your TeamSpeak, and then you go to connections, and then you go to connect, and then here it will be an IP address that will be provided to you on the day of the event. Then you just copy that IP address in here and set your nickname, and then choose connect. Here it is important that you set a push to talk button, because you don't want to transmit all the time on Unicom to all the teams listening in, because everybody in the teams will be listening in on this Unicom channel. So you want to go to Tools and Options, and then go to Capture, and then set Push to Talk, and then you set a nice Push to Talk button. So for me, that is button 5 on my joystick, and that is also a button I use as push to mute in Discord, because whenever I want to talk to TeamSpeak on the Unicom channel, I want my Discord to silence me so I don't speak in both applications at the same time, because the people in my cockpit will be very confused. They will have terrible noise when I transmit on both places at the same time. It's very bad. So what you do then is that let me see here, just gonna pull the application over. To set a push to mute button, you go into using settings down here, down by the left, click it, and then go to keybinds. Let me see, and then you can just add a keybind, and then you find the push to mute here, push to mute, and set a keybind, and that should be the same as your push to talk in TeamSpeak, basically. So whenever you push to talk in TeamSpeak, Discord will mute you in that channel. So that's how you do that. And let me just check if I have said everything I wanted. Yeah, just a quick notice on the Microsoft official Microsoft Flight Sim calendar. That's a good way to keep track of what events are going on, in addition to what is going on MSFS Bushpilot. So if you go here, you will be able to see what is going on. So for example, today's the 13th. Yesterday we held an event for the shared cockpit. This is here. We went from Kathmandu, Nepal to Paro in Bhutan. Was a very great flight. We had 4 planes with 10 or 11 pilots sharing the 4 planes. Had a great time, and it was a challenging approach as well. And as you can see, like this is populated and kept up to date. So here you can see what is going to happen for the next week or so. With that said, I wish you much luck. If you have any questions, you can either type them in the Discord we have, or you can leave a comment down below. Happy flying.